I am a sailor.
I am a sailor.
And I am a Navy Reserve sailor.
I am a sailor
in the U.S. Navy Reserve.
As citizen sailors, we have a tradition of service going back 100 years.
And in 2015, we are celebrating our centennial.
We're celebrating 100 years of existence.
And here are some highlights of our Navy Reserve history told by Navy Reserve sailors.
March 3rd, 1915. Congress establishes the United States Naval Reserve Force.
1916. The Naval Reserve Flying Corps established.
1917. The United States enters World War I. 8,000 sailors are in the Naval Reserve Force.
Today is my first drill in the Navy Reserve, and in 1917, the first woman entered the Naval Reserve Force.
the first female, that's Chief Yeoman Loretta P. Walsh. She paved the way for me. I'm Chief Yeoman Jerry Lacey.
By the beginning of 1918, the Naval Reserve Force has grown to nearly 90,000 sailors serving on active duty.
1918, Navy Reserve Flying Corps Lieutenant David S. Ingalls is the first and only Navy ace during World War I.
When the war ends in 1918, there are 270,000 sailors, including 12,000 women that make up the Naval Reserve Force. That's more than half of the Navy.
1925, the Naval Reserve Force reorganizes and gets a new name, the U.S. Naval Reserve.
1926, 6 colleges established the first Naval Reserve Officer Training Units. More than 1,000 students enrolled. I was an NRTC student.
During the 1930s, the Naval Air Reserve Force grows and supports fleet operations. Navy Reserve surface sailors trained with the fleet during summer cruises.
1939, President Roosevelt declared state of emergency due to war in Europe. The Naval Reserve begins to mobilize.
December 7th, 1941. Reserve sailors aboard the USS Ward sank a Japanese midget submarine just prior to the attack on Pearl Harbor. This is the first action of the U.S. Navy in the Pacific War.
Fact, during World War II, 84% of the sailors serving in the United States Navy were in the Naval Reserve.
1942, President Roosevelt signs a bill creating the Women's Reserve. Women accepted for volunteer emergency service, or WAVES, enter the Navy as enlisted and officers. Nearly 100,000 WAVES served during World War II.
1944. The Navy begins accepting African American women for service in the Naval Reserve.
Fact, 5 U.S. presidents served in the Naval Reserve: John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, and George H.W. Bush.
1945, World War II ends. The Naval Reserve begins to demobilize. Over the next year, 3 million sailors are discharged from active duty.
1950, the Korean War begins. Once again, the Naval Reserve mobilizes.
Fact, 130,000 reserve sailors serve over the next 3 years.
1958, 4 destroyer escorts transferred to the Naval Reserve as training platforms. The number grows to 30 later this year.
1961, the Berlin crisis. 40 Naval Reserve training ships and 18 reserve squadrons mobilized for 1 year.
1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis. Naval Air Reserve aviators logged more than 775 flight hours and 350 hours of surveillance.
1968, Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 12 and 22 deployed to South Vietnam. Seabees built aircraft facilities, roads, and bridges.
1971, USS Gearing deploys with a fully integrated crew of active and reserve sailors. This was the first implementation of this type of deployment by the United States Navy.
1973,
the office of the Navy Reserve Force Master Chief is established. Richard P. Johnson becomes the first Navy Reserve Force Master Chief.
Fact: 2 of your MCPONs were Navy Reserve sailors, and we all have served with and support our Navy Reserve.
1988, minesweeping specialists, intelligence, personnel, and other reserve sailors deployed to the Persian Gulf during international tensions.
1990, Iraq invades Kuwait. Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm begin. The Navy Reserve mobilizes.
Reserve sailors have major roles in cargo handling, medical and religious support, combat construction, and control of shipping and air logistics.
1994, the year of my commission. The U.S. Navy intervenes in Haiti. Reserve sailors mobilized to support Operation Uphold Democracy.
1999, Reserve aviators deployed to support electronic combat missions over Kosovo and Operation Allied Force.
2000, Naval Coastal Warfare units provide port security in the Persian Gulf after the attack on the USS Cole.
September 11, 2001, the day that changed our country forever.
The Navy Reserve is mobilized to support the global war on terror.
2001, Operation Enduring Freedom. Combat operations began in Afghanistan. I have served 2 tours there.
2003 brings the start of Operation Iraqi Freedom, where I proudly served.
Since 2001, Navy Reserve sailors have completed more than 70,000 mobilizations in support of contingency operations around the world. I am one of them.
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 2005, Admiral Vern Clark, Chief of Naval Operations, redesignates the reserve component as the Navy Reserve.
All sailors active in reserve are now referred to as United States Navy sailors.
2006, HSC-84 provides dedicated special operations support in Iraq. We conduct the longest sustained combat deployment of U.S. Navy helicopters in history.
2010, the Haitian earthquake. Reserve sailors mobilized to support relief efforts.
2011, Reserve SEAL Teams 17 and 18 provide special warfare boat operators. They deploy bringing combat experience to Naval Special Warfare Group 11.
On any given week, more than 20% of the Navy Reserve Force is providing global operational support.
March 3rd, 2015, the Navy Reserve celebrates 100 years.
100 years of community.
100 years of service.
100 years of warfighting.
Ready then?
Ready now?
Ready always.
We are the Navy Reserve. Ready then, ready now, ready always.